Hello, good morning. I am back. I know it's been a couple of days, but I'm back. I'm here. All right. So in the past few days, couple of days, I've had some really good conversations and I've heard some really interesting comments. Okay. Um, and I'm noticing a lot of stuff. So if you know me at all, you know that I like to get to the root of things. Like I really want to know what's going on in a particular situation. So, and I've been working with this cybersecurity stuff for a minute now. Well, getting to the root of it has been very interesting. Okay. And I see a lot of similarities between that's the cyber stuff and the stuff that just happens in your day to day, right? In the what we call the physical world. Okay. So you have cyberspace and you have physical space. And physical space is what you're in right now, looking at this video or whatever you're doing. Okay. This is your physical space, wherever you're sitting, whatever. Now, in that space, we have something called physical security. Okay. And when you think about physical security, you think about, is my house locked up? Do I have a gate around my house? Wherever your valuables are those things being protected, like in banks and stuff like that, right? But physical security is also very personal, right? Let's say you have really bad acne, okay, on your face. You may be physically insecure, when you go out of the house, so you may do things to help you feel more physically secure when you go out. Many of us some people won't go out of the house without makeup, even if you don't have like acne or something, right? They just won't go out without putting on some makeup because they're physically insecure for whatever reason. Okay. Some of us with our hair, now I take these out periodically, and just wear my natural hair. But some of us, if our hair isn't a certain way, we're physically insecure. Okay. And it goes for, from the way you look, whether you feel you're too skinny or you're too fat, or the clothes you wear. All of that is included in being physically insecure. Even if you think about emotionally too, okay? You could be around some person who makes you feel emotionally insecure, okay? You have to guard your emotions when you're around them for whatever reason it is, okay? So security is a whole thing, all right? Now, again, this is me looking at cybersecurity. I'm like, okay, so what else is going on here? So I see that we're all familiar with that. That's not anything anybody needs to read up on, okay? Because you know it, right? You have that experience of being physically insecure, whether it's just a feeling or whether it's from some kind of experience that you have or are having that are causing you to feel physically insecure. Now I saw this talk by what was he? He used to be a hacker, like a malicious hacker who goes in and steals people's stuff, whatever. But now he's a cyber professional. He works on the good side, I guess you can say, okay, to help protect that information from being stolen. But one thing he said on the stage was, he said, security is a feeling. Okay, that's really what it is, whether you feel secure or not. Okay, I agree with that, but like I said, I also feel like it's an experience. Okay, because you may feel insecure or secure based on some experience that you've had, right? That now the result then is you feeling some type of way about your security. But he was talking about cybersecurity. Okay, he was talking about cybersecurity in that instance. So what did I say? Okay. Now, being cyber insecure, we already talked about physical insecurity. Okay. Now, and that's in physical space. Okay. So in cyberspace, there is such a thing as cyber insecurity, which seems further away, right, or more conceptual or abstract than being physically insecure, right? Because the first, and I know this, I don't know you or whoever, but I know this. When you think of cyber, the first thing your mind goes to is a computer, right? Something in the physical space. That's what your mind goes to. Okay. But it's more than that. It's not just that. It's a lot more than that. The thing about cyber, all right, if think about it this way. When you have a secret, okay, where is that secret? Like where is it? Like, can you point to it? Can you take a picture of it and show it to some? Like, where is that secret? Okay, it's in your mind, right? It's in your head. Okay, it's something only you know. It's something only you know. Okay, that's where your secret. That's your secret. Okay. So when it's your secret, nobody else knows. You haven't told anybody. Okay, you're cyber secure. That's like being cyber secure. Okay. I have this valuable information. I know where it is. I know who has control of it. If I wanted to do something with it, I could, because I have the keys. Okay. I know. That's like being cyber secure. Okay. Cyber insecurity is if some kind of way that secret gets out. Okay. You're talking in your sleep, or it makes a mistake and slips out or whatever. I was watching something this morning about Howie Mandel, about how he has OCD, and he tried to keep it secret for years and years and years. And he was on what is that radio host name? Howard Stern. He was on Howard Stern's radio show, and they played it. He made a mistake and said, that he doesn't like germs and it slips out. And he said that when he did that, when he made a mistake and said that, he felt like his world had just fallen apart, because he just told the whole world about his mental illness, and now his kids weren't gonna like him, people weren't gonna want to see him anymore. I mean, it was just a whole thing. Okay, it's very interesting. It's a video on Facebook, so go look, or you could just type it in YouTube or something. I'm sure you can find it. But that's how he felt. He felt like, oh my God, this secret is out. Now other people know it. Other people have that information. They can actually do something with it to not give me a job. My wife can do something with it, to get a divorce. My kids can do something with that information and say, with this information, this is why I'm not gonna, claim you as my father, or whatever the case is. You know what I'm saying? Now that's like cyber insecurity. Some information has just gotten out that was secret before, that now people are able to do something with. Okay. And which can have an instrumental impact on you. Impact on you. Go back to physical insecurity. Okay. You put on all this makeup to hide whatever. Let's say you have vitiligo or something you're embarrassed about on your skin. Okay. Let's say a person all of a sudden sees you for whatever reason without your makeup. Now they know. They know this secret you've been trying to hide with the makeup. Now they can use that information to tell other people to shun you. Now people are going to start talking about, now you're insecure. You see how that works? You see how that works? Okay. Cyber insecurity is, and all of us, everybody who owns a phone, a laptop, everybody who's ever walked around in DC or another major city, everybody who has a driver's license, okay? Listen, everybody got your information. Everybody. I don't care how off the grid you are, okay? If you have a social security number, listen, it don't matter. Your information is out there, okay? And almost all of us are cyber insecure, okay? And don't even know it. Okay. Don't even know that somebody has our secret. Okay. That somebody has our valuable information. And with that, can use it. Remember in another video, I talked about currency. Knowledge is like currency. Somebody can use my social, somebody can use my, so I did a what do you call it? A 23 and me, is that what it is? The DNA thing. Okay. Because it look, I mean, I wanted the information, but not somebody else that got my DNA doing whatever. I don't know. Okay. Anything they want to do with it, right? I mean, the depth of cyber insecurity and what people can actually do with your information. There was a recent article that was written about how information is the new oil. It's the new oil, right? I write myself about how knowledge is in the person. Like knowledge, that knowledge is a very valuable asset, not just in your mind, just me saying it's valuable. Like it can get you stuff. And I'm not just talking about money. Okay. Knowledge can get you all kinds of things. In the entrepreneur course we just did, we talked about cultural, social, and economic capital, and how cultural and social capital are just as valuable as money. Okay, because you can get stuff with that. You can get stuff, based on who you know. You can get stuff with that. That's not money. That's you just saying, I know this person, or this person coming along with you to introduce you to somebody. That's like money. Okay. Information, knowledge is just that. The same way we can be physically vulnerable in various, think about situations where you're physically vulnerable and the things you try to do to protect yourself in those situations, whether it's, putting a seatbelt on in the car or putting a lock on your house on the door, and you also have to think about the environment you're in, because some environments require you to be more diligent. Okay. Some environments, just for what it is, makes you more vulnerable, more physically vulnerable. Okay. So physical vulnerability, cyber vulnerability, physical insecurity, cyber insecurity, it's the same kind of thing. It's not rocket science now. It's the same kind of thing. Now, what I'm doing, sorry, this thing looks weird to me. What I'm doing is using this kind of information and presenting it this way. Because when you go to people, what I've noticed, okay, in the work that I've been doing with this cybersecurity thing, people don't care. Like they really don't. I've already talked about how at work, everybody, not just me, everybody in the organization, and even before you join, if you're just hired, you have to take IT security awareness training. You have to get your computer and stuff. If you're already there, you got to take it, because if you don't take it by a certain date, they're going to take your computer away. And that's the only reason many of us do it. Okay. Because listen, I got work to do. You're trying to take my computer away if I don't take this training. That's why I'm taking it. My need is not to know how to be cyber secure. My need is to keep my computer so I can do my work. And what do I have to do to keep my computer? I got to take this training. I'm not there to learn anything. I mean, I can care less. Seriously. I'm just telling you the truth. Okay. Because the way that the training is, all it's doing is telling you, it's like saying, if you think about, the way, like telling teenagers or whatever, don't have sex because it's wrong. The same thing. My IT security awareness training is like telling a teenager, don't have sex, wait for marriage. There's no other explanation. There's no why. There's no what are my choices. There's no education about anything. It's just don't do it because it's wrong. That's not going to go very far. Not with human beings. Okay, you may be able to teach dogs or whatever. So you can't even do that with dogs because they need some kind of you know, something else to help them learn a lesson or whatever, right? But you can't, humans don't work that way. We don't work that way, okay? So what I'm doing here is I'm going to the beginning. First of all, I'm looking at the similarities, because one thing I know, and that you know, is that your brain needs layers to understand something. Okay, stuff has to be layered, you know. So when you hear, like, I remember driving to, me and my boyfriend were in DC. We were going to eat lunch at Busboys and Poets, which is awesome, by the way. If you haven't been to Busboys and Poets, they have some of the best food. So we were going there, and he was trying to tell me how to get there. Now, I'm terrible with directions. I'm like missing a chromosome or something when it comes to directions, because I don't know where in the world I am. I really don't. I have a very hard time with that, okay? So he's trying to tell me, Cheryl, this is where we are, and that's how you do that. And I'm like, I'm lost. Like, I'm really lost. So he says, okay, if you turn around and you go all the way that way, you'll get to 19th Street, which is where my job was. So I'm looking back. I said, okay. I was like, I got that. I got that. Because I know where 19th Street is. That's where I work. I went there every day. I can see it in my mind. Okay, so now you're telling me, okay, that all I got to do is go straight back this way, and because we were taking twists and turns, but the way DC is just, you know, the way that whole city is, you know, you really got to, it seems easy, but it's not to me, okay? But anyway, so what he was doing was bringing to tell me what you already know. Okay, I already know 19th Street. Okay, now, if you go all the way this way, you'll get there, right? My brain needed a layer. I needed to grasp onto something I already know about and have experienced, okay? So when it comes to the cyber stuff, what I'm trying to do here is to marry the physical with the cyber. People already know about physical. Everything I've talked about with physical, you know about, okay? So, and again, your brain needs layers to understand stuff, okay? So let's do that. Plus, Richard Feynman. I love Richard Feynman. If you don't know who that is, he's a Nobel Prize winner in physics. He is also one of the most amazing people ever. Okay, I think he died. I forget when he died, like the 70s or something. I'm not sure, but yeah, he's a scientist, and the way he explained, there's something called the Feynman technique. Okay, because he said, now this is a physicist. He came up with all kinds of wonderful, you know, things, right? And his understanding was just off the charts. But as a physicist, he was like, listen, if you can't explain something simply, that means you don't understand it. Okay? The Feynman technique is what people created based on his notes, the notes he would make to help him understand stuff. Okay, and it's something that I'm going to use with the kids in this class, and the adults. Another thing that Richard Feynman said is that we hide behind knowledge. Like, we use what we remember to hide what we really don't know. And that's true. If I can't explain it simply, and he does, so go to his videos on YouTube, listen to how he explains what fire is. I'm telling you, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Okay, enough on Richard Feynman. So Richard Feynman and James Baldwin, you're going to hear me talk about them a whole bunch. So the main thing that I'm using in the work that I do is very simple. Okay, it's empathy. That's the main thing that I'm using to help teach individuals who want to be cyber professionals, teach individuals who already are cyber professionals, and teach individuals who are not cyber professionals, but are still at risk of being cyber insecure. Okay? It's empathy. One example of this that I'm using in the course that we have right now. In the beginning of the course, I talk about manifest destiny. Okay, now for that probably sounds familiar. I mean, if you've went to any school in the United States of America, you've heard about manifest destiny. Whether you remember it or not is another thing. Okay, but that's that's what the folks who came over here, the Europeans who came over, that was their guidepost, that was their North Star, that it was, God's will that they come over here and that they, be given all the freedoms that they don't have, back where they are. They should have the freedom to have their own religion and, and all those other freedoms they were looking for, looking for a new land and, to create a space of freedom. Think of the Constitution. Everybody has the right, to be free. All right. That's a very noble North Star. Okay. I also talk about in the course what hackers, what their ethics are. They're looking for information to be free. They're looking for the world to be able to access. It's very noble. And I'm going to write about this too. So I'm going to write something about it as well to give people more detail. But it's very noble. But even with those very noble North Stars and the noble purpose that's behind, everything that's done, a lot of atrocities happen. A lot. The American Indian was almost wiped out because of manifest destiny. A lot of beautiful things. I'm in the state of Virginia. There's a state called Virginia right now, okay, that I live in because of manifest destiny. All right. But at the same time, there was a lot of loss and death and just unnecessary things that happened, because of this vision that somebody had by any means necessary. Okay. By any means necessary. Something that could have, I'm not going to say prevented that, okay, but something that could have tempered, or at least, allowed people to evaluate differently, before they took steps, to ensure the freedom of all. Okay, we know who all is, but it's empathy. Something that could have helped there was empathy, right? And this is something that I'm embedding into cyber's future. It's not necessarily walking in somebody else's shoes, because they in their shoes, you don't need to walk in their shoes, but you do need to believe them. Okay, you do need, and this is where the cyber ethics, the computer ethics come in, right? You do have to respect, that people are just like you. The same fears, the same needs, the same, the same drive to be happy, all of that stuff, right? They're just like you. Because what happens, what happens, and this happens too in the cyber world when it comes to us. I consider myself a user. Okay, you have those technology people out there who are creating these wonderful apps and computers and all that stuff, right? Programs. And I'm here, I'm using the stuff that they make. Okay, I'm the user. But what it seems like is in that world, I'm actually what they call the weakest link. Okay, if stuff happens, if stuff gets compromised, it's because of me, the user, the human element in this whole thing. Okay, it's because of me. And that's not true. That's not true. How am I the weakest link? In what's going on, right? So that's something else that we have to talk about, in this thing. If I'm the weakest link, is because you're just labeling me as the weakest link, okay? And it's not because that's true. It's not because that's true. I was going to say something else regarding that, though. What the heck was I going to say regarding that? Yeah, but anyway, empathy, having empathy with people and what they have to do and how they need to work, instead of just putting out, this is what you do to have to stay safe online. You got to change your password 1,000 times in a year or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So the stuff that I'm creating is really to have empathy, not just with the user, but with the adversary, empathy with the person, the people, the countries, whatever, who are actually trying to steal. So why are they doing that? Like, what are they trying to do? Okay, what's their North Star, right? Because really understanding that can help cyber professionals actually create things instead of just chasing behind people and reacting to what they do, you know. Insecurity, insecure. We're all insecure in both in the physical and the cyber world, okay? And if we want to be more secure, we have to understand, why are we so insecure? You know, why is that? Think physically and in the cyber. Why are we so insecure? And what can we do to increase our own security? And what can the people who are out there, like for physical security, you think of law enforcement, you know, judges, you know, all that law stuff, okay? The people who create the laws, they have their part in increasing our security. But I have a part too in increasing my own physical and cyber security. Okay. So how can we marry all those? How can we marry those together? Because they go together. They're not separate. Absolutely not separate. I was hacked in April. Okay. And that hack, that cyber insecurity, that hack caused a lot of issues here, you know, in the physical world. So they're not disconnected. That's for sure. Okay. They're not disconnected. All right. Okay. So that's all I'm going to say about that topic. But it's really interesting. I'm learning a lot of stuff. And I just talked to someone this morning about how I really feel like I am, when I get this information and I use it to help design a learning experience, and the information, the evaluation information that's going to come from that and feed back into the learning experience and the work experience, right? It feels like I have a canvas in front of me and art supplies. Like I really just feel like I'm, you know, creating something different and new, you know, and I love that. I absolutely love that. I absolutely love that. So I'm going to be doing more of that. Definitely doing more of that. And I'm going to talk more about it too. Okay. All right. So that's all I have for right now. I had to use this other laptop because my Chrome, I looked at the video and it was really wavy or something. I don't know. I hope this one looks better because and I'd be shaking the table too. That's what I noticed. I need to stop doing that. But yeah, so hopefully this one works a little better than the Chrome did. All right. I'll talk to y'all later. If not today, then definitely tomorrow. Okay. Bye.